The police knocked on his door at 5:14 a.m. Not the loud kind in movies. Not urgent. Just 3 slow taps. Almost respectful. By noon, he was in handcuffs. By midnight, he was a murderer. Marcus Hill had just finished a 12-hour shift at a shipping warehouse when the knock came. His hands were still stained with grease and cardboard dust when officers escorted him from his small apartment complex in South St. Louis. No shouting, no struggle, just confusion, and neighbors that would never look at him the same again. The crime was brutal. A 62-year-old woman named Evelyn Carter was found beaten and stabbed inside her home. No forced entry. No signs of robbery. Only one thing missing: her purse. Detectives needed a suspect fast. News cameras were already outside the aging brick home before the coroner arrived, and before sunrise the next day, they had won. Marcus Hill. Why him? Because a neighbor reported seeing a tall black man in a hoodie near the house that night. Because Marcus lived 4 blocks away. Because he'd had a prior arrest 5 years earlier for shoplifting, a charge that was dropped, but still remembered. Inside the interrogation room, they told Marcus they had his fingerprints. They didn't. They told him someone saw him. They hadn't. They told him he failed the polygraph. He never took one. After 12 hours with no sleep, no lawyer, and no food, Marcus cracked. Not because he was guilty, because he was human. By the end of the night, they had a confession. A confession he could barely remember signing, written by a detective who helped him recall details. Details Marcus never should have known, because some of them were wrong. At trial, the prosecutor stood tall, spoke confidently, painted Marcus as a drifter with no morals and no future, a man capable of anything, especially murder. The jury took less than 3 hours. Guilty, 30 years. Marcus' mother collapsed in court. His sister screamed, and Marcus Hill simply stood there, too stunned to cry. Prison destroyed him in ways no verdict ever could. He lost weight, his hair, his faith. Letters from home slowed. Friends disappeared. Time swallowed birthdays. Funerals. Hope. But one day, a letter arrived from someone he'd never met, a law student named Rachel Donovan. She had found Marcus' case while researching false confessions. Something about his statement didn't sit right with her. She requested the evidence. The police refused. She fought. They delayed. She persisted. And eventually, they handed it over. That's when she saw it. The fingerprints lifted from Evelyn Carter's purse did not match Marcus Hill. Not even close. Rachel felt sick. She dug deeper. And what she found next changed everything. A DNA sample from under Evelyn's fingernails had been tested once and buried. The results? Not Marcus. It was another man, one with a criminal record, one who lived in the same neighborhood, one who'd been arrested 2 years later for another violent assault. But his name never reached the jury, never reached court, never reached Marcus. Rachel contacted the Innocence Network. The case exploded. Within months, Marcus was back in court, but older, weaker, gray-haired. The prosecutor avoided eye contact. The judge looked uneasy. And then, the truth was spoken aloud for the first time in 13 years. Marcus Hill did not kill Evelyn Carter. The courtroom went silent. The verdict was reversed. Marcus collapsed, not from weakness, from release. Outside, reporters pushed microphones at him. Do you forgive them? Marcus paused. Forgiveness doesn't give me back my mother's funeral, he said. It doesn't return my daughter's childhood. It doesn't erase what prison taught me about pain. Then he looked at the camera. But the truth gives me tomorrow. Rachel cried. The crowd cheered. The system said nothing. No charges were filed against the detectives. No apology from the prosecutor. No headlines for 13 stolen years. Only silence and a man standing in unfamiliar sunlight, learning how to live again. He lost 13 years to a confession he never made, a system that never checked, a truth buried in paperwork. Marcus Hill walked free, but he would never be whole again. Justice didn't fail him. It forgot him.